All right, I'm going to see if I can kill my channel today. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of the stuff I've been posting on this YouTube channel has been related to like agricultural stuff or drone stuff. And I called the channel Farm Dad Word Barf because I wanted to be able to do a lot of different things that I find interesting, because I'm one of those types of personalities that I'm always interested in something new or something different. And lately, a lot of the personal conversations I've been having have been related to politics or social issues or maybe even history at times. And I find out that it's like, well, I don't have anything to post during the winter either because I'm not doing as much with farm stuff. So I thought to myself, if I'm ever going to do something related to politics or sociology, or if I'm ever going to do something related to politics or social issues, I want to at least have a base in which people know who I am or know where I'm coming from. And I thought, what better way to do that than the political compass test? So this is 6 pages with 7 to 15 questions per page, I think. I can't remember. I'm not posting it all in one video because that'll be really long. That's too much. What I'm going to do is probably take each page with a title of what that page is an emphasis on, whether it's foreign issues, domestic issues, social issues, whatever, and post those separately in each into its own individual video. So if I ever do something in the future where you're like, who is this guy? What's his bias, or what are you trying to read into it, or what's my logic? I can at least go back to this as a reference, and maybe even down the road, possibly my opinions may change, and I'll take the test again and see, maybe after 6 months or a year, if my leniencies change at all. So this is that test, or this is that video. We're going to start with page 1. Page 1 is just a few propositions to start with concerning how you see the country and the world. Question 1 is, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational companies, corporations. I strongly agree. The logic behind that is I don't see transnational corporations as incentivized to have humanity in mind. It's a profit motive first, and then stock dividends, and there's certain things that are always above priority where I think we've seen examples where a company would choose profit over the health of people. And if they can grease the right wheels to get away with it, they will. So that's why I strongly agree. If you're wondering an example, think of Nestle with the tainted formula that they shipped off to Africa. If you don't know that story, they had tainted formula. They ran a campaign to convince mothers in Africa that formula is better than breast milk, and then it made a lot of children sick. So that's why I strongly agree. I'd always support my country whether it is right or wrong. My impression immediately is to do a soft disagree. Now, it's one of those things where I like to switch out terms to see if it changes anything. So let's say it's children. I would always support my children, whether they're right or wrong. Well, I mean, yes, like I love my children. Even when they're wrong, I don't want them to fail. So I guess I would I would agree in that sense where I'd still support them. But that doesn't mean, I don't know if support means justify or enable. You know what I mean? Like if my country's doing something wrong, I don't want to enable that behavior. So I'm going to go with soft disagree. And you might say, well, with your children, you said agree. Well, children are different. The bond I have with children is much different than the bond I'd have with my country. So this is a soft disagree. So no one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. That's a disagree. I think you can still be proud of your country. Historically, the United States has done some awesome stuff. I think in its recent history, it does awesome stuff less. When I say awesome stuff, I think of like World War II. That was a good effort. The moon space program, that was awesome. Unless, I got a cousin who's a little skittish about the whole moon thing. I'm not going to get into that. That's a totally different tangent. And there's different YouTube videos about it. But those things I think were awesome to be proud of. Soft disagree. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I'm going to strongly disagree. We're going to strongly disagree. I thought about teasing you a little bit on that one, but let's just move on. So, strongly disagree. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm going to do soft disagree. First impression. Why do I say soft disagree? There's examples where, let's say, United States had armed and enabled the Mujahideen in Afghanistan during the 80s so that they would fight Russia. Now, Russia is our enemy. And then we could possibly say, well, like Mujahideen evolved into the Taliban, I believe. Taliban, not Al-Qaeda. They evolved into the Taliban, yes. Either way, it's all in Afghanistan. So the people we helped create ended up coming against us. So they were our enemy, philosophically, I guess. This is tricky. I don't like the idea of that just because we have a mutual enemy that makes us automatic friends, because I think there's historic examples where that's not true. Now, there might be a moment where at the time it's a strategic advantage. Think World War II in Russia. It was a strategic advantage to be allied with Russia, but they were never our friend. Let's be fair about that. So I'm going to do a soft disagree. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Oh. I'm going to do a very soft agree. I don't like doing stronglies on either side because there's always... I'm one of those gray area people. And it annoys the hell out of people because I've gotten in arguments with people on both the left and right on certain issues because they'll push too far one way. I'm like, nah. And so I'm always trying to tug to the middle. So I'm going to do a soft agree because international law might be written at a disadvantage to the United States because of its global status. Meaning, like, let's say you were to send U.S. troops to a UN court. Let's say they're charged with some sort of war crime. U.S. troops. Now, it's different if we're thinking Blackwater or a Z or some sort of military contractor hired to do United States service or to enact its policies. That's a little different. Private contractors that have committed war crimes, I think that's a little different. But I'm talking U.S. troops, American troops, not contractors that happen to be American. But American troops that if you were to send them to a UN court, they would definitely, I believe, be at a disadvantage because some of those courts might have some bad actors that might use that as a way to sort of a legal advantage against the United States. I don't think Russia and China would have the interest of the United States in mind if there was an instance like that. So I'm going to say agree. There might be military action defies international law. Yeah, that's a tricky one. There's now worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Strongly agree. I believe that the free market has failed the truth or information. We are witnessing that all these things that you're clicking on, all these clickbait things, all this ad revenue has incentivized people to kind of twist or manipulate things or take things out of context to get people to view it more, to share it more, to comment more. All that traffic, all that translates into ad revenue. So it is my incentive, if I was, let's say I'd create stuff for YouTube. It's my incentive to create things that are sensationalized and possibly wrong. Now, I don't do it because I would feel bad. There's times I thought about creating t-shirts that I thought were very gross political slogans that I also thought would sell well, but I don't because I also feel a little gross doing it. And so I think I could create certain content that would definitely cater to specific audiences, and they would probably get a lot more shares. And that would translate into revenue. I could probably also do regular political commentary and maybe even get some more I could possibly even create more political commentary and get some ad revenue that way. And if I did that, the more I do that, the more I'd learn what people like. And I would change my behavior. Like I would go less to my obligation to truth and I change more to my obligation to give people what they want. That is a bad incentive. That does not create good information. That creates entertainment. So I'm going to strongly agree. There is a worrying fusion between the two. Do I have a solution? I do not. I mean, we could have a long conversation. Maybe I'll delve into that, make a video about it later, but that is a problem. So that is the end of page 1, test 1, and we'll move on.